welcome to another episode of Podcast the Movie, the podcast. I am your host, Tyler Weiss. What's up, guys?
Hey man, what's up?
What's up?
Glad to be doing this
so,
right now, dude.
What's up?
Glad to be doing this right now, man.
Yeah, I know.
Real quick, hold on. Austin, are you watching
intros?
Are you watching like Superman 2 in the background right now?
I'm glad you noticed that chiseled chin in the background.
What is that?
Hannah's watching a show called Pretty Little Liars right now. With some
I thought that was Superman 2.
Yeah.
No, that's just some, young guy with
she
a
paused
very
it.
nice
She can
chin.
watch it. She can watch it.
Yeah, she paused it because she heard me say her name. She's looking right at me. And she just flipped me off.
Classic.
So, with me, as always, I have Mr. Austin Newell.
It's your boy.
Mr. Rubyen McCormick.
I just had some gabagool, and it was delicious. Is that really? You guys just gonna leave me on that?
I don't know what to say to that, dude.
Hey, vanculo. I don't know what.
Okay.
All right.
And Mr. Logan Henderson, what's up?
Oh.
I swear I brought cookies in here earlier, and now I can't find them. There's no way I already ate all those cookies.
They're gone,
Very
dude.
possible.
They're gone.
It's very possible you already ate all the cookies.
What's
All
up,
right,
guys?
So what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
I've been, just doing work and
Yeah.
trying to not die from a virus. So
What?
What are you talking
Tell
about?
me about this virus thing.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There's
Uh-huh.
kind of this virus that's been going around. A little
For like a
concerning.
year and a half? Yeah.
Yeah, roughly. Well, we thought that maybe it was, not going around too much anymore, and then apparently
I thought by April it was just gonna disappear like magic.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting.
I downed like
Last
several
year, you mean?
bottles of bleach, and it
Yeah.
has done no good for me.
yeah,
So,
I
that's weird.
Yeah, here
I
I
don't know,
am.
man.
Generally, that works from what I've seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I hear.
Yeah. This is what I've been told.
Yep.
So, So other than the COVIDs, and guys, look, we are recording this as a remote because it would be irresponsible of us, shall we say, to be sitting all in the same room. Yes, Ruben, we've noticed that all your stuff is crooked in the background.
I just can't.
It's nice.
It's bothering me looking at it.
Well, then don't look at it. Just turn your chair the other way,
Just
and you'll be good to go, sir.
Don't hang
know-
stuff when you're drunk.
On the iPhone, you can actually use a ruler app.
It's
and
got
you can use a
it's got
measure
level. Yeah.
Yeah.
A measure. Yeah.
I use a physical bubble in liquid. Okay.
Okay. How'd that
Okay.
work out for you?
Well, okay. Again, I didn't use this because I was drunk when I put this up, and then I
All right,
got this with the intention of. Anyways.
Hey,
You
Ruben,
got it
I
with the
just
intention of using it. and
Hey,
it just
Ruben.
never did.
Ruben, your little
What's up?
PlayStation symbols are cute, but did you see my little Xbox sign I got?
Oh yeah, does yours do
It's-
this?
It's kind of covered up by this. Bro, you gonna test me right now? That motherfucker lights up. I'll go light it up right now.
I wish I had an Xbox.
I'll point out what there's a demon behind that door, hence the lighting.
Logan, you look like you are in a prison cell.
I don't.
Yes.
It looks like a Nine Inch Nails music video. And
No,
I
it
don't
looks
know
like, it looks
where
like the
I am
beginning,
right now.
Bro, you look like the beginning of a Paranormal Activity movie.
if that door closes itself,
Very much so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gone. I'm leaving.
I don't know
That door
where I'm
slams.
at. I just showed up and I was like, I guess this is a good spot for me to record. So
Yes.
here I am.
You're
It's
in
abandoned house, so it works.
You're in
There
like
you go.
a motel, like a Days Inn hallway.
Oh, no.
Days in.
Yeah, dude. There's meth
Motel
needles everywhere
6.
and shit. Yeah, dude.
Man, what have you guys been doing though? Like, are you guys seriously just working? And
That's legitimately what my next question was. So.
are y'all watching anything anymore? Do you guys even know what's
You
happening?
Well, so that's
know-
that's my thing. There's several things that I've actually watched since the last time that we recorded.
No.
Me
one.
too.
I guess we're gonna go ahead and start with Ruben and go ahead and get that out of the way. Ruben,
fine.
what have you watched lately?
Dude, so check this out. You guys never told me how cool this is, but I watched a movie called Drive. Everybody knows about it,
fuck
apparently,
yeah.
Mhm.
except for me.
Yes, of course.
I
Yeah.
never seen it.
Wait,
Never-
wait.
yeah.
You
Ryan
said everybody?
Gosling.
Oh, that one. Okay, cool. Go.
Yeah.
You've seen that one?
No. I know what it is, but I
So
don't.
So I
I've
watched
never
Drive.
Oh, he's like, oh yeah, that one. Have you seen that one?
No.
No.
Hell no.
seen it. I know what it is. I know of it.
It was
Yeah.
it was fun. It was really cool. A
Yeah,
lot of big names showed up in it. I was surprised at the cast in it. But watch. Oh, I just burped all in the mic. Just watch Drive.
Yeah, it smells
don't
like
leave
shit.
that in. Leave that in for the podcast, by the way.
That's all right. We won't be able to hear it anyway. So
Okay. Well, I watched Drive. Thought it was awesome. I really recommend it. As much as I've been deep diving synthwave and fucking just going on 24/7 playlist on YouTube, listening to, dark wave and doomstep and all kinds of shit. Like that whole movie kind of predates the synthwave movement that's happened in the past like 5 years.
oh yeah, of course.
So pretty neat. The whole movie is
Yeah.
very aesthetically pleasing.
The director of that, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Nicholas Winding Refn.
I don't like that name.
And like he
That's
is
far
he's one of
too
those
British
big-
for me, dude.
Oh, it's definitely not British. I think he's
It sounds like
totally gonna mess
Ukrainian
this up.
or something.
I think he's Swedish.
It's close enough.
Yeah, but it's that movie has this vibe to it that is just
Ba-ba-bum,
fucking
ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum.
badass. There's that opening sequence of just everything that happens. Not to spoil anything, because like legitimately,
It's the first
everything in
10 minutes of the movie.
Is that first 10 minutes of that movie is fucking badass.
Yeah.
And then it goes to that hard techno beat, and it's just like the neons and the city, and it's just incredibly beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't not seen Drive, quick little short action adventure movie, a little bit of a thriller, little espionage happening. Pretty cool.
Bryan Cranston's in it.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston,
Ryan
he
Gosling.
appeared, and I was like, whoa, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really good performance. But yeah, I watched Drive. I watched earlier today the Field of Dreams baseball game. I don't know if you guys caught that. I think it's still going. I'm going to miss the last inning.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty cool. I finished the last
It was
episode.
really interesting, and I even said it on the Discord earlier, which is I watched the opening of that, and to see Kevin Costner out on the field and having the players step through the cornfield the way that they did, it always reminds me of that moment in the actual Field of Dreams movie. And I'm a softie whenever it comes to some shit like that, because it's that moment, the whole play catch with the dad scene. It just fucks me up every single time that I watch it. It's just one of those very poignant, very brilliantly captured scenes in a.
We'll do that movie next.
Not a terrible movie, but
we'll do that one next, so we can get you to cry on cam.
That's fine.
please.
I have no problems.
Hey, I
You
cried
have a-
from
you have a
movie
lot of
I
problems.
watched this week. it happens.
So what did you watch?
Yeah, what
Logan?
did you watch, dude?
Well, because I needed some comfort food, I went and watched the Avengers movies again.
Oh shit!
Oh my
Okay.
god, all of them.
Plus Civil War. Not all of the Marvel movies, but just the Avengers
Avengers. Yeah.
ones, and then
I
plus
finished Loki, by the way.
Also
the last
finished-
episode
Oh,
of
great.
Did
yeah,
we talk
it took
about
him this
Loki?
long to fucking finish Loki.
I watched all of it except for the last episode because I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I asked.
You
How?
get to the end of
Oh.
the fifth, and you're like, I can wait.
Well, I mean, I had to wait because they were like every week,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
week came
And then
and I
you decided
forgot
to
about
wait
it.
Fucking 3
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was worth it though. It was a
Okay.
good wait. Definitely opens up everything, the whole story
Oh,
for
of course it does.
moving forward
Yeah.
into the new phase. Yeah, for sure. But honestly, I don't know. I think I'm burnt out at this point. Spider-Man's gonna come out. I'm gonna be like, cool.
I say I'm burnt out every time that I finish a Marvel piece, a piece of the Marvel puzzle, and then as soon as something else comes out, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in this one too.
Right.
What
it sucks
kickstarted
me in
it
every time.
for me though is that I watched Black Widow, which I don't think I had watched the last time we recorded. I don't know if we already talked about Black Widow or
I
not.
think
little
we
bit.
did just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have not seen it.
I actually, I've landed on I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah,
Actually.
me too.
It was enough Winter Soldier for me to think that it was among these like standalone movies, probably one of the better ones.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys would go that far, but I found myself thinking about it a lot more and like how it fits into the rest of her story. And
I just
thought,
think about the Red Guardian more than I think of anything else.
oh, he was awesome.
Yeah,
It was the
yeah.
best part.
David Harbour is hands down the best
Did
part
he-
of the entire
Does he
movie.
die in the movie?
He needs to come back. In
Oh, he
MCU.
needs
Does
that
he die?
character needs to have its own little
no,
arc
Ruben,
and
dang.
own series and everything else.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
specifically, there was one scene that was like possibly the best shot scene ever, which was when she was in the and obviously spoilers if you haven't seen Black Widow. I guess this isn't really spoilery, but it is. There's a scene
3
when
minutes.
she's in the red room and
Yeah.
in that guy's office, and she jumps back and then like gets hit and then like lands on a table, and the camera like follows it. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking, but that was a
Yeah, I know
fucking,
exactly what you're talking
that
about.
was such a
Yeah.
badass shot scene.
Yeah.
Like that looked awesome. And there was a couple of those in that movie that you
Yeah.
could tell like the cinematography was actually well thought out, and it wasn't just let's see how cool these guys look. It was just like actually well thought out, and there was different negative space things going on for discomfort, and the editing like at the begin, like the introduction, like this intro credits roll where it was showing like all the stuff that they had infiltrated was pretty
Oh, yeah.
cool. I thought it was a neat movie, and I'm glad that her sister is going to definitely going to be in the movies to come because she was a cool character
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, taking up the mantle as well.
Yep.
And look, my whole thing about that film, my only real criticism of it, I mean, look, it's a fine movie. I mean, it had completely disjointed, action sequences that didn't really have places inside of the entire rest of it. But just action sequences for the sake of action sequences. But apart from that, I mean, it was a zero stakes
Yep.
movie for anybody.
That was
And
my thing
that was
too.
my biggest criticism of the entire thing, because it's a prequel, and what happens afterwards. There was, I mean, nobody goes into that movie going, "Oh my God, I hope the Black Widow survives." Of course, she's going to survive because she has
it's
to
just
be
a
in
story
the rest
piece,
of the
man.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
that was what I was thinking as well. That the whole time I'm like struggling to care too much.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I wanted more like actual like young Black Widow
Yeah, of course.
story, because that was the shit that she talks about constantly, and
Yep.
how awful it was, in the other movies, and how she had done some terrible shit, and you really only get like one scene of her doing something
And
truly
it jumps
terrible.
directly from that to the all the Avengers shit.
Right.
So, yep.
So, I would have liked to see more actual, like, what was she doing when she was an actual, sleeper agent? Not sleeper agent, but like an actual, like,
a Red Sparrow,
a
or whatever.
widow.
Yeah. That would have been cool, I think. And then also, did you guys see the alternate ending?
Yeah. Well, the alternate ending or
Yeah.
the
Not
bonus
the
endings?
not the post credits, but like the alternate
Uh-huh.
ending that they deleted.
I don't think I saw any of that.
Would you like me to tell you about it? Or do you
Sure.
want to
Yeah,
watch
let
it?
me in. Let me in.
So it
Ruben's
shows
never
her.
even fucking seen it.
Yeah, right. And I can set it up for you too, Ruben. So she rides back into like what I believe is her childhood home area, or maybe her new home area, and there's some kids that are outside, and they're like recreating some of the iconic Avengers fight scenes.
Mm.
And one of the girls walks up to her, and she like puts her hand out, like how Black Widow shoots the thing, And that was a pretty cool. I wish they had kept
Yeah.
it, because she had talked about how like all of the other Avengers, they're looked at as heroes because they've always done good things, and she's like, and I've done awful things, and she didn't really felt like she belonged, and because of that, and I thought that was actually a really cool ending as well. It had more emotional, stakes than,
Yeah,
actual
and
ending.
look, I'm glad that you get to see this movie and it kind of fleshes out that character a little bit, gives it a little bit more depth, give you a little bit more like understanding or give a shit when surrounding that character, and I'm kind of hoping that the Hawkeye TV show will kind of be able to do the exact same thing, because I mean, like realistically, I don't give a shit about Hawkeye. In any of the Avengers movies, I didn't give a shit about Black Widow in any of the Avengers movies.
Do we
either.
know what the Hawkeye show is based around?
It's my understanding. It's him and his
my
daughter.
guess-
He's teaching Kate Bishop. right?
My guess is that it has something to do. It has everything to do with the end credits, the last end credits sequence that you get in Black Widow. I know that it has something to do with that.
Yeah.
So,
I wish
I mean,
it
it's
didn't.
going to immediately tie together.
Yeah.
So that's how they tie all these these films in this universe together.
But
and
I hated
shows.
that.
with
I
the
hated
movies
that.
and-
That was so. Which I get that.
it's very heavy-handed.
Madam Vice President is
Yeah.
playing some long con.
She's not the Madam Vice President, but
You know what I mean?
yeah. I know.
I mean, I guess the Seinfeld people are like, that's not her. What she's known. Whatever. Fuck you. Veep's way
Yeah.
better than Seinfeld. It just is. But yeah, like it also felt very contrived. Like there's no way.
Wait, are you telling me Elaine is in the movie?
Oh yes.
Is that what I just?
she's?
Yeah,
Did you
that is
watch
correct.
Captain and Falcon? Captain and Falcon.
Winter Soldier,
Captain Falcon. No, I
Yeah, he's
actually
great.
watched the first episode and I was so bored that I never finished it.
It gets
So-
better.
It
I
does
never
get
even
better.
saw it.
Yeah.
What?
See, and this is the thing that you kind of have to do is you kind of have to, in order to have a full understanding of this entirety of the MCU,
The new phase.
you have to be able to, you have to watch the TV shows to be clued in on what is
Except
going
you
on.
don't
with the
have to
entire rest
watch
of it.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you
You
should
do not have to watch Agents of
because
S.H.I.E.L.D..
it's actually really, really bad.
It's a really good show.
It's so
No, it's
bad
not.
that it's
No.
it's campy and it's
Yeah.
B-rated. It's like 1980s television.
Look, and I've
Made
seen like
today, and
six whole episodes, and
Have
the
you-
episodes that I watched were actually really good.
Okay, yeah, and I watched 5 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay,
And-
never mind then.
and it's awesome. It's really cool, and they even tie it in. Like it's technically at the time when they released it, it was part of the canon for
Yes.
the Avengers, and they even make reference to a stronghold cabin where they kept the Hulk. There's even episodes where they talk about the invasion of New York and shit like that, and like it all ties in. But then it's loosely starts going into its own the Immortals and the Eternals, and it starts getting into its own side plot where now it was kind of too far ahead. And we're just now getting that in this, like the cinema side of things.
Yeah.
So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is now considered like side canon. It's like it's not actually even a part of it anymore. Same with like Agent Carter and stuff like that. But you guys should
Yeah.
watch Agent Carter as well.
Agent Carter,
I just watched
I enjoyed a little more.
the first episode of What If came out, by the way.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
Yeah.
That I have.
That's,
Uh,
the,
it's really
that's
good.
the animated one, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, look,
we're
it's-
talking MCU over here during The Godfather.
During the
What?
The Godfather.
The Godfather.
Oh, okay.
No.
So Austin, did you want to talk about what you've seen lately, or?
Sure,
real
man.
quick before you do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just it's one last MCU thing. I watched Thor 1, which I haven't seen
Oh.
in forever.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool.
It is actually cool. Like it's different than a lot of the other ones. Like the core, like, story elements are similar, but it's actually pretty cool. And it's actually got probably the coolest theme out of like all
Okay.
the standalone movies. Like it's actually cool. I'm just saying, it's kind of
And we get an actual like Asgardian Thor who's like he doesn't understand Earth and shit like that. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
And it's actually like if you go all the way back to like Iron Man like 1, it's that one's got a completely different feel to it than anything else that's in the entire of the franchise. So
Yeah, Thor 1 was, I believe, the first one that I saw at the movie theater. Because Iron Man 1, I don't think I watched at the theater. I think we rented it
Yeah.
afterwards. But Thor, I was actually in Austin, Texas, in high school, competing in a band competition, and we all went and watched it then.
there you go.
Very cool. And I think that's it. Oh, I keep watching Last Week Tonight because it's good.
Hell yeah.
And there's another movie that I've watched, but I assume one of you guys will bring it up, so I'll jump in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I hope we have all watched that.
Nope.
By the way, I think I'm going to start another podcast, and I've already thought of a name for it. It's going to be called Nothing But Spoilers, and like legitimately, I think it's going to end up being the place where it allows us to be able to talk about movies that just came out, because there's a couple of movies that just came out that I really enjoy the fuck out of watching. Austin,
I thought
do
it
you
was
want to
gonna
talk about
be-
that, or do you want me to lead right into it?
I thought it was
Hey,
going to be
man,
you for like 20 minutes just in the microphone like, Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Just rapid fire all spoilers throughout all cinema.
Nothing but spoilers, literally.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Green Goblin dies.
Did we talk about Old last podcast?
I think you guys mentioned it.
We mentioned Old.
Okay,
I
well-
know what-
You guys did a pretty deep dive into old.
Okay,
Yeah,
well I don't want to talk about it. So
yeah.
before I talk about this other movie, I did want to say that I've seen like 3 movies that I can think of in the past few weeks, but I think I already told Tyler me and Hannah watched The Prestige because Hannah's never seen The Prestige before.
Fucking great movie.
It's phenomenal, and I swear I learn things every time I rewatch that movie. And
I
that
got to
movie's
rewatch
just-
that soon. I keep putting it off because I expect us to cover it on this show soon.
Well, Tyler,
somebody
I think
should just bring that up as the movie to watch.
Yeah,
at
but
the end of
every
the
time we talk
episode.
about Nolan, we're always like, well, after Tarantino, we may want to do Nolan. And then it's like, I don't know.
I'd be totally down with that. That'd be dope.
yeah,
We'll have to
But-
bring Josh on here, though, for that. He'll
There
demand.
you
But totally watched that again. It was wonderful. In theaters, I went and saw, and you know what's funny is I try to go to the theaters late so I can avoid people. So like I try to go to some of the later showings, and sometimes when I go, there's a fuck ton of people there regardless. So it is what it is. But
not to the theater that I go to.
oh yeah, but the one that I go to, AMC, there's a lot of people there usually. But I went and saw The Green Knight, and I know that a lot of us, and by a lot of us I mean Tyler, had very differing opinions on The Green Knight. And I'll have all of you know that I absolutely adored it when I went and saw it in theaters. I thought it was wonderful. I don't know what it was, man. I think that the world in that movie is so fantastical and so just imaginative to me that I was just like, what the fuck is happening the whole time? And he's just, a knight going on a journey. And it was just cool. I thought it was really neat.
I thought
I
it
know-
was fucking boring. Go ahead.
Tyler hated it. I thought it was great.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. I just thought it was really fucking boring. So there's that.
Well, and then outside of that, of course, I saw The Suicide Squad.
yeah.
The day
Yeah.
it came
Oh
out.
yeah, boy.
And I
Yeah.
think everybody here.
Have we all
Ruben?
seen
Nope.
Suicide Squad? Ruben, what the
Ruben's
fuck?
becoming
man?
the new
Seriously.
Austin.
What do you guys want me to do? Watch movies every week?
Yeah.
You don't go to
that's what
you
we
don't
do.
go see big blockbuster movies like The Suicide Squad.
I definitely wouldn't go pay to see it.
Hey,
if
do you
it's
know
on
where you
HBO
can
Max?
You would
see-
love.
It's
here
on
we go.
HBO Max, boyo. So
That's where I watched it.
It's right there. Yep.
Yeah. No,
Look,
I
that's where I watched it.
I had the
twice.
intention. I had the intention of watching it, and
Yeah.
and like I'm browsing, HBO Max, and then I think I ended up just on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I think you'd
That'll
really
happen.
like it.
It looks
There's
really
no
cool.
way that he
Yeah.
doesn't like it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
look,
good.
It's such
Like
a
trailer. I don't want to say like I'm the greatest cinematographer understanding ever because I'm not, even though I am. And every time I watch a trailer, I can tell you immediately if the trailer comes out, the movie is either going to be a hit or a bomb, and if it looks good or not. I've been right 100% of the time my entire life, and
that's an incorrect statement.
I mean it's
There's
not.
no way.
I've been right
Just-
100% of the time.
Okay.
In the past, every trailer I have seen for Suicide
He's only
Squad,
guessed for one movie.
for
um,
Suicide Squad, for the fucking Batman versus Superman, Justice, every single time I'm like, these are hot garbage. I saw the trailer for James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I was like, this actually looks really fucking cool. Like this
Yeah.
visually, this looks stunning. I can't wait to see this. And then I've
Yeah.
yet to watch it. But
and
I know I'm not wrong.
it is fucking hilarious. It is action filled. It is just the most gratuitous violence.
It's violence as hell.
and oh my god, it's so good.
It's
one of the
basically
most- one of the
James
most
Gunn.
satisfying movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
He got free reign. He was like, Marvel wouldn't let me do this, so here's what I'm gonna do.
so
There is
yeah,
one
and
criticism I have related to that, by the way, that I don't know if you guys feel, but
Look, no, what's that?
I felt like this was James Gunn like going, I could just do Guardians in the DC universe and that's
Oh, of
kind of
course
what
he
it
could.
felt like. That's what
Yeah.
it felt like to me, just with
It felt
The
like a hard R-rated
yeah.
version of what he would like to be able to do
Yeah.
with Guardians of the
it's
Galaxy.
just a lot of the beats were
and I
very
have-
similar.
I have none of the problems. I have no problem with that at all. And like the like the opening 10 minutes of this of Suicide Squad, I mean it.
Dude,
It's
they got
expertly done.
They get right into it, dude.
It is expertly done, and so it's one of the movies that I went and saw with my wife.
My wife.
Oh, come on, Ruben! You
I was
missed
waiting
it.
for Ruben,
Jesus
but he-
Christ.
he-
I was.
do it.
I'd let you take it.
No, you just let me just sit there in that, huh? In
Yeah.
that silence.
I got you, dude.
So yeah, I went to go see that with my wife, and she is not it's not her. She's not the target demographic for this movie. And when we left, I mean, she really enjoyed the film. So I mean, it's really funny. It's really a fun movie to watch. It's got some sad moments. It's got some entirely too gruesome moments, and I just love the fuck out of it. And the only way that you can get something like that is you take the guy who does Guardians, and then he gets fired from Guardians 3, and Disney's like, hey, you're canceled. And then Warner Brothers is like, hey, you want to come over here and make Suicide Squad? And he's like, yeah, I got nothing else going on. And they pay him a fuck ton of money and just give him creative control and let him do whatever he wants to be able to do with that film. And so he makes, in the process of making Suicide Squad, Disney is like, hey, we changed our mind. You can go ahead and come back and go ahead and do Guardians. He's like, okay, cool, but I'm going to go ahead and make a DC movie first. And so this is what we get. This is legitimately, it feels like a cross combination between Suicide Squad. Between Guardians of the Galaxy and like Deadpool. It's got
Yeah.
the same,
Definitely.
hilarious style of just no spoilers at all. But the jungle sequence, where it's John Cena and Idris Elba. That it might be one of
The dick
like,
measuring contest.
Yes,
I love that
yes.
scene too.
And it might be one of my. It's my favorite that's ever been done in a quote unquote superhero movie, like ever. And it's very reminiscent. James Gunn. The first thing that I ever saw that he had ever done is a movie that he did with Rainn Wilson and shit. I'll look it up here in a second. Super. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Super.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize James Gunn did that. I love that movie when it came out.
Who is it that's with him in that?
I don't really remember the cast. I just remember it being like there was a scene where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to be a superhero," blah blah blah.
Oh,
and
it
then
was it's Elliot Page now.
oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But he hits a guy with a
With
fucking
a wrench.
with a wrench, and it shows it. And it's the first time in the movie where anything happens, and you go,
Yeah.
"What the fuck, dude?" Like,
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, he's just a normal guy. It's Dwight from The Office. Puts on a latex suit and then hits a guy with a fucking wrench in the face.
He's doing God's work, and so he becomes this superhero. You should just go check it out because it's fucking great.
And he gets to a
But
point where he
it's-
gets involved with like the mafia, and he breaks
Yes.
into like the Don's house, and there's a shootout and like
And
explosions.
it's Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon's
is
the Don. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the head of the mafia crew, and it's fucking hilarious. But Suicide Squad feels very reminiscent of him just kind of getting to fuck around inside of that type of world with no repercussions at all. And you 100% get to see that in the movie. Ruben, you should definitely watch it. You're gonna enjoy the fuck out of it. I promise.
Yeah. I'll watch it this week.
There's no way that you don't like it.
Yeah.
What's the other? That's the only other movie that we saw, correct? Suicide Squad.
I watched Ghostbusters. So
I'm waiting. I'm excited about the new one.
I
I
think he's
did
thinking
too.
more of like stuff in the theaters, though.
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see that in theaters. I wasn't
I'm
gonna
looking at my ticket list, and I'm not seeing anything that
I watched
that we went to
Tomorrow,
the
I'm gonna
theaters.
hopefully, if the COVIDs don't get me, tomorrow I'm gonna go see Free Guy in an empty theater.
lie. Oh, is it out?
Yeah, comes
It's
out
out
tomorrow.
tonight.
Oh,
Early
it came
tonight.
out-
Comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so Free Guy's out. It's getting really good reviews right now. So I say really good reviews. It's like an 8 out of 10. Right
It's
now.
just it's just Deadpool without the suit again. It's just let's be
And
honest.
I think without the blood or the profanity, because I'm fairly certain it's just
PG-13? Could be.
Yeah.
It is a video game, so
It's a video game thing, and it's Taika Waititi is the bad guy. So, oh, by the way, Taika Waititi, you get to see Taika Waititi in Suicide Squad as well.
of course
Yeah.
he's just
So-
everywhere now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
It's
mean,
fucking-
he's
it's-
wonderful. He
it's-
needs to be.
Oh my god, he is so wonderful. Yeah, if they put him in every single movie, I'd totally be cool with that.
Yeah.
and-
Outside of like Suicide Squad, I will tell you guys, I watched half of Prometheus, and I plan to watch the rest of it after this podcast.
I've never
So
finished
there's
it.
There's that.
I don't know, man.
Prometheus has a really, really good beginning.
I'm not
So.
a huge fan of Prometheus. I talked to Austin about that today.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
It's got
but-
its failings.
Yeah, and like this is coming from a guy who literally likes Alien 3. Like,
Yeah,
like how do you make me
There's-
upset?
yeah. There's nothing. You know what? And I've seen every one of those movies. I own all of them in some type of digital copy. So I mean, it's a I don't. I enjoy the movie, but it's got its problems. It definitely has its.
I don't know, man. I just finished Alien Isolation, and I've just been on this Alien binge now. So now I'm watching Prometheus, and I told my brother Alex that I was going to watch Alien Covenant with him because I know that Prometheus is not his cup of tea because it's kind of like a slower Alien movie.
Yeah.
But Covenant Covenant to me, I don't know if you guys have all seen Covenant, but that one feels like a remake of the first movie to me. Because Covenant just, I don't know, man. It really, I mean, outside of like the Michael Fassbender parts, but in terms of like, it's a crew and then they discover the alien and then there's a strong female lead and then she kind of survives. And like, it's
I kind of
Alien
get where
1.
you're coming from.
Like it's Alien 1, take Michael Fassbender out of it. But Michael Fassbender is what carries Prometheus. So,
Oh, 100%.
It's the only reason
like-
it's watchable for me.
Yeah,
like, man,
it's
he's-
because of Fassbender.
he's so good. I love it.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that legitimately, I will give a movie a chance just because he's in it. And a lot of times it'll be a shit movie, but I've watched my share of shit Michael Fassbender movies as
Hey,
well.
speaking of that, is the Assassin's Creed movie good? I never saw it.
No, it's terrible.
Wow, it's a great answer.
Hey,
really
hey.
quick too.
Yeah.
What
It's
about
not,
Prince of Persia?
It's not that bad. I mean, it is bad,
Oh
but
no,
it's
it's
not.
fucking terrible.
I kind of.
Dude, the whole fucking the whole like the jumpy.
It has a
stick that they
5
have them on.
Oh,
It's a
that's
5.7
so bad.
out of
That's
10.
fucking dumb. I hated that, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like
It gets a 5.7 out of 10.
5.7.
I watched it once and I was like, I'm glad I watched it the one time. I'll never watch it again. But
Yeah.
the one time was, I guess, cool.
Well, yeah, same thing with like Prince of Persia. It's like one of those
I
you
forgot about
watch
that
it one
movie.
time, just yeah. See?
Yeah. I think I have watched Prince of Persia, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm
terrible.
almost certain I have too. I couldn't tell you anything. Like I know that the guy that
anytime
doesn't
that they
bathe
make
is
a
in
video
it,
game movie, it always turns out well. So.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog was okay.
Yes, it
Warcraft
has
is a
to be-
cinematic masterpiece.
Warcraft is a cinematic fucking junk as shit, is what it is. It's
Wait, we're
terrible.
talking about
What
we're
are
talking
you
about the video
about?
game, right?
Dude,
the video game.
Yes.
Man.
No, I'm talking about the movie.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, you can't make fun of WoW. Now you can make fun of you can totally make fun of Blizzard
Yeah.
for being a fucking piece of shit goddamn company that employs pieces of shit. So
fuck
there's-
them,
There's
but,
that.
They're the only ones that got caught. Okay.
Well, yeah, so far.
Ubisoft
So far,
is
they're the ones
definitely
that got caught.
pretty.
Oh yeah, EA, you coming down, EA?
EA was voted worst
Um,
company in the world for like a decade.
Not anymore, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, they released Star Wars and Apex Legends, and now
There you go.
everybody loves EA.
There you go. It's a perfect company. I want to go work for him.
Hey,
Um,
we doing video game podcasts now?
no. So I'm going to get to the second movie.
I downloaded LA Noire.
There you go. You were telling me about that.
He's so happy. I love it.
Somebody, I think it was Travis, said it was a piece of shit. He's got like 1,000 hours into it, and he fucking hates it. So there's that.
What, L.A. Noire?
Yeah.
He has 1,000 hours in L.A. Noire?
No,
That's what he was saying.
He has to be lying.
No fucking way.
The game's like 40 hours max.
Yeah, max. Unless he's just driving around doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
The last movie that I wanted to talk about before we get into the main movie is going to lead us directly into the main movie, as always. So this week I actually ended up watching, I watched back to back. I watched Trainspotting, and then I watched its sequel that you guys all know about, correct? You guys know all that Trainspotting has a sequel?
I know.
T2.
T2 is the name of it. That's correct. It's
pretty newish.
Yeah, it's
we've already
movie.
talked about it on the podcast, I believe.
I think we talked about
briefly.
It whenever we did the 28 Days Later podcast, because here we are with our boy Danny Boyle again. So do you guys want to go straight into Trainspotting, and then I can touch a little T2 here in a little bit? By the way, T2, what a fucking terrible title. T2 will always be Terminator 2, and I don't know what they were trying to accomplish by naming it T2.
I know. They just were like, I don't know what to fucking call it. So
yeah.
I think someone made a mistake, and they that was their placeholder, and it just kind of got submitted like that.
It should have been called Trainspotting. So,
Trainspodtings.
Spotted.
I don't understand. I don't understand two things. Why they made a sequel, because I thought the first one was good enough to stand on its own after I watched it. But also, what the fuck does Trainspotting even mean? Because I didn't know what this movie was about when we went into it, and I legitimately thought it was going to be about like people looking at trains. Like I was like straight up, they're going to be
not.
or something of that nature.
Did they? I don't know if it was a deleted scene from the movie or if it was in the movie. Whenever they go down to the railway station, and there's a bum down there, and they're fucking with this bum, and it is the bum turns out that it's Begsby's dad, and one of the things that the bum says is, because they're down there at the railway station and talking about how it was an old railway station, talking about how this railway used to see thousands of passengers come through here, and he says, "What are you boys down here doing? Train spotting?" And that's where the whole the play on that word actually comes in the movie. And then they do have that moment where they actually ride the train out to the spot out there in the fields. They do that twice in the movie. So that's why it's called Trainspotting.
It still doesn't make any sense to me. That name is just call it like heroin addicts or something. I don't know. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like Trainspotting does not tell me what this movie is about whatsoever.
So
not at all.
To tell you what this movie was about,
I know what it's about now.
No, whenever it came out in 1996, let me kind of set the tone of what was actually happening in the world at that particular point in time. I was 1 year out of high school, and this movie. There was a lot of movies in the 90s that came out that really, really glamorized heroin use, and Danny Boyle decided he was going to make this film, and it was originally it's written by Irvin Welsh, so it's a novel that was written by him based on like his experiences that he had growing up in Edinburgh, and like him and his cohorts and the shit that they did, and whenever they made this, it was designed, legitimately to be an anti to the the pro heroin use movement that was kind of making its way across the 90s. Look, man, like, not that heroin needs any advertisement or anything like that, because it was, I mean, it's a fucking, it's a crippling addiction to be able to have. But like the movies like Pulp Fiction really just romanticized this whole idea of heroin use. John Travolta showing up at his buddy's house, and then I say it romanticizes heroin use right before Uma Thurman snorts it and then fucking dies, and then has to have a needle punched through her fucking chest in order to be revived. But just this whole idea of having your own heroin kit and everything like that, and being able to show up and buy some heroin and then shoot up over at a buddy's house and everything like that. It was a very romantic view of this whole, stylized heroin use. That shit's, that's not what you get in Trainspotting.
No.
You get a very dark, very poignant look into the world that is, these buddies from Scotland and the turmoil and hell that their life goes through because of their constant addiction to heroin. So who wants to go first? Austin, this is your first time seeing this, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to assume every movie that we talk about, it's your first time seeing it, because I'd be pretty right on all of those.
I think almost all of them. Yeah, I've never seen before. So, no,
Tell me your thoughts, man.
I went into this movie completely blind and ended up really enjoying it. I thought it was really, really good. Didn't expect to see Ewan McGregor slong, but that's what I got. Which is great.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I heard he hangs dong in this movie.
Does it? But yeah, no, I mean, it was really good. I mean, it gave me a lot of like perspective on some things that, because there's people in my life that do heroin, so that gave me perspective on like what it feels like, and like maybe why someone would want to do something like that, and how it works and all that. But overall, I did really enjoy it. I thought it was good. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's worth watching if someone's ever curious about like how heroin affects somebody in their life and the road that it takes them down. I thought it did really well representing that. Now, what I didn't like seeing was a dead baby.
Yeah.
Because that scene, I was like, what's funny too is like when the movie started, I was like, it's really weird that there's like a baby just sitting around while everyone's doing this, and then literally like 4 scenes later, I was like, oh fuck, okay, all right. So that was pretty fucky. And plus, like the detail on the deceased child was done very well, because it looked really convincing.
That was a real British baby.
Calm down.
They went to a hospital and they got a real
okay.
British baby used.
Let's not take this too dark. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, if you're listening to this episode and you know what we're talking about, I mean, it's not the lightest,
oh no,
subject matter by any means.
And whenever I watch that, the thing that really hits home for me is, so having grown up around drugs the vast majority of my life, and then into my young adulthood, having made my way through my share of very cracky places. Meth is a very prevalent drug in this in the area that we happen to be living in, and it typically is in lots of places throughout the world. But it's one of those things where you wouldn't expect to see just like a random baby at a drug house, but you do. You typically find a couple of kids, maybe a baby or two, just kind of hanging about, and while everybody's fucked up in the corner somewhere, and you're as a young teen looking around at everything, and you're like, what in the fuck have I gotten myself into? And that's a lot of what that feels like in whenever you're watching the movie. It just, you wouldn't expect to see some random kid crawling around on the floor That's kind of what you get in reality, which is fucked up. So,
Yeah. It's I've luckily not had that experience like you. So like watching something like this,
you just haven't lived enough, sir. That's exactly what it is.
I suppose that's
you need
what
to go
it
out
is.
and traffic some fucking drug dens.
Well, I mean, without going too much into it, I've only really had one family member that had a serious issue with drugs to the point where like it was, becoming dangerous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a couple years ago now, and it was pretty scary because I hadn't seen that person in a while, and they had grown up, well, age wise, a lot since then. And then when I finally did see them after that, they were like a completely different person, and it's freaky. It is kind of an odd, scary almost thing to see. To like someone just be completely unrecognizable. So, this movie kind of, you don't necessarily get as much of the before, as opposed to the recovery side of things. So you don't necessarily touch on that, but it did give me that I guess like Austin was saying, that understanding of, well, I can see, I guess, how they could have gotten to that point. And it's definitely more tragic because at the time, a lot of my family and I were frustrated with the person, and you just don't really, see why. And I was talking to my mom about it one time, and she was like, "Well, they were really trying to just hardline it," and that's when I first started to think about it. I was like, I don't know. It's for someone to do something like that, they'd have to be in a really, really bad place to be driven to do something like that. Like things just aren't going right, and you need to help them more than to carry them down more, drag them down more.
Yeah.
So not to get all like, I guess, soapboxy, because it's not even about the movie anymore. But that's kind of, if we're relating it to the personal experience, that's kind of where I came from.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that. I mean, look, and not to make the movie out to be this fucking sad sack of a movie, because there are some really hilarious moments that happen throughout the entire thing, but it is pitted by these moments of holy fucking shit. These guys are just crazy fucking strung out on heroin the entire time, and to quote a line from Spud from actually Trainspotting 2, T2, at the end, the very, very, very end of Trainspotting, you get that moment where, Renton, Ewan McGregor's character, they steal the money from Spud and what's Johnny Miller's character's name? Sick Boy and Begbie. And whenever they steal the money from them, and, Spud sees him leaving with it, and he looks down at him, and Spud's just shaking his head, and he decides he's going to fucking steal the money and just bail on his buddies anyway. And then he leaves the money for Spud, leaves him 5,000 pounds in that locker. The T2 starts out with a moment, doesn't really start out, but kind of in the middle of it, you kind of get the moment where Renton and Spud meet up, and he's like, "What did you ever do with the 5,000 pounds?" And he's like, "What the fuck do you think I did with the 5,000 pounds? I'm a goddamn junkie." And, it's 25 years later, and he's still a fucking heroin junkie. And he's still trying to score from these dudes that, work in this abandoned building, and he goes up there and scores fucking heroin from these people. And that's kind of the reality of the situation, is it's the the real life consequences of what happens to somebody whenever they're a fucking junkie, to something as strong as an opioid. And it completely just destroys and encapsulates somebody's entire life. But you also have the moments in there that are super hilarious, which is like Spud shitting all over the fucking all over the sheets.
Yeah.
And then taking it down to breakfast with him.
Fucking nasty.
Is this the second one or the first one?
The first one. First one.
I gotta
Yeah.
watch it again.
Oh my God! When was the last time did you not watch it this last week with us?
No.
Are you pulling off of your previous viewing experiences?
Yeah, no, it's been I don't know, 10 years.
Oh really?
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it has been a minute since we initially decided to do this movie and are now recording it due to various
Yep.
setbacks. But, you know.
I legitimately thought we were doing The Godfather.
Did you really?
Oh no.
Is that
That's
why
it.
you
No,
kept
serious.
making the Godfather jokes?
I'm serious.
Yeah, well, that's why. No,
That was my
that
suggestion
was
last
Austin's
time.
pick. Yeah, that was Austin's
Yeah.
pick.
That's what I
Austin's
watched.
pick was
That
You
you
also-
piece of shit.
You also watched Ghostbusters. You watched literally every
I
movie
also,
besides this
I
one.
also watched that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I'm
watched
so
every
sorry.
movie that was brought up except for the movie that we actually picked, which is Trainspotting.
and I'm just
so.
curious though. Did you really like The Godfather?
No, I did 100%, and I'm glad that you recommended it because it's been forever since I've seen that as well, like in its entirety.
Is this going to
Guys,
become the?
I'm-
Hold on, let me change the graphic.
Yeah.
Um,
Update it.
Yep. There you go.
I legitimately was lost for a second, guys.
There could be
Did you
times
really
where we
think
do
that we
a,
were gonna?
We could do a double feature at some point. We've done it before.
Yeah, absolutely.
I legitimately did Godfather jokes from the first minute because
Yeah,
I
we were
thought
kind of
doing The
we were kind of wondering why you were
Yeah,
doing
I
Godfather
was-
jokes.
I was confused.
I didn't
being
know.
Italian.
Hey,
and
I
then
was just coming in hot.
It
Dude.
makes perfect sense now.
Yeah.
It makes
It
way
makes
more
perfect
sense.
That's
now.
why you were
Yeah.
like a spaghetti, and I was like, "What? I don't."
Oh man,
You were doing it before we started recording. Too.
Yeah.
I know I was, dude. I was.
He was.
I was all in. I told everybody
I
all
thought
day.
this was
like,
some new character that Ruben was just workshopping.
I told the other guys earlier. I was like, yeah, dude, we're doing The Godfather later.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna be.
Wait till you get
pissed.
back, and you're like, "No, just kidding." We were just doing train spotting, and I was fucked up the entire time. So
What happened to
Oh,
Tyler's
there's
camera?
that.
That
So-
actually might be true. Oh yeah,
Ty-
Tyler, you just went super digital by the
Oh
way.
yeah.
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
You've,
Tyler,
You've
you're
entered
all
the
fucked.
matrix. You have entered
Oh,
the
yeah.
matrix.
That
You're
happens.
matrixing right now.
That happens. It's okay.
So-
It looks
It's
great
only on
my
our-
end.
it's only
To
on
all
our
you
side.
to all you listeners out there, you just figured out that Tyler actually isn't real. So we've
He's
been
just
doing
a-
this.
He's just an AI
I
called
wonder if-
Algae Rhythm. Who's here to steal your kids.
Dude, you know what? What a genius character play though. Al G
Absolute-
Rhythm.
That's great.
I
Terrible.
don't think you guys realize how
Terrible.
hard I was laughing at Space
Yeah.
Jam.
I laughed so much, and I just can't wait to rewatch that. Just blazed out of my mind.
Wait, was that a Space Jam joke? Because I was totally
Yes,
crediting
that
you
was
for that.
No,
That was a
no,
Space
no.
Jam
That was a
joke.
Space Jam joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that shit was funny. So I'll give you
I'm
that.
also about to
Yeah,
watch Trainspotting. Right
That joke was way funnier than what they did in that shitty movie.
Dude, I've got notes and stuff for The Godfather over here.
You
That's
like
hilarious.
legit thought we were doing The Godfather,
Up
And it-
until this
and just
moment.
100%.
and just halfway like through us explaining, you're like, wait a
And
second.
at some point, I was like, "How long are they going to talk about Trainspotting?" and then I went, and then I thought about it. I was like, "Wait, are we still talking about the first one or the second one at this point?"
Oh
I-
gosh.
Oh my god.
I love it, man. That's just good content, though.
Let's just switch movies entirely. All right.
No,
so,
no, keep going. I'm enjoying
so I
it
watched
because
So
Captain
directed-
Marvel, and Captain Marvel.
No. Okay. No.
No. It's
Trainspotting.
it's directed
Yeah.
by Francis Ford Coppola, The Godfather, Part 1.
That is correct.
Who's
That's
in it?
true.
Who's in that movie? Al Pacino. Wait,
Al Pac.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay,
Marbrand.
Keep going.
That's it. There's no one else in it because they play every character.
That's right. They play every single character.
They
in the
play
entire
every
movie.
single one.
That's
Wait,
It's
correct.
like it's a Tim and Eric.
wait.
uh,
Robert De Niro's in it too.
No.
Nope. That's Godfather 2.
Did you
All
guys
right.
know when I was a
take
kid,
it
I
back.
thought that Marlon Brando made Marlboro cigarettes? Is that he was the cowboy guy?
Why?
Because it's close enough. I don't know. I didn't know.
Because his name looks like the word Marlboro.
Yep.
yeah,
I was
it's
like,
similar.
oh, there's a cigarette guy, dude. I always
That's
see him
him.
smoke. Yeah, I always saw him smoking every time I saw him. Like,
There you go.
it's a Marvel
There
guy.
you go.
Yeah.
Did Francis Ford Coppola make anything else? Because like
Nope.
I haven't heard
He-
of anything.
He did The
else.
Godfather and then he killed himself.
Oh God.
Look it up, dude. He made the greatest American cinema art piece ever. Was like, that's it. I retire.
Literally, dude. He's fucking.
Wasn't
tired.
he forced to make Godfather Part 2 and 3 because like the first one did so well?
He was making the second one, and then
He's made
3
some
was
good movies.
definitely a cash
Like,
grab.
he did Gatsby. He did Apocalypse Now.
Fucking Apocalypse Now.
He
Come on, man.
did.
That's right.
I don't.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
right.
even
There's
seen
like
that.
six.
Come on,
there's
y'all
like
know
6
better.
versions of Apocalypse Now.
Hey,
He's done a bunch of
Daly told me that he watched Snatch tonight, and
Oh, that's a good one.
I asked
That's a
him.
good one.
I asked him if that was good, and he said that it's a lot like Pulp Fiction in the way that it tells its story because there's like different things going on, and then it all like converges like the way he was describing it. But he said it
Yeah.
was great because I told him
It's a great movie.
I see it on 4K all the time. I just never. I know Tyler
bought
talked about it once too.
So I want to.
Yep.
I want to try to steer back a little bit.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
do.
Get us back on topic.
Let me ask you guys this: how did you feel about Obi-Wan's portrayal of a strung out heroin guy?
So
Well, I wanted to. So, firstly, I know that most heroin addicts don't hang that low. So that much I can say.
Okay.
Now,
Okay, dude.
sorry,
Okay.
continue. I thought he did great.
I thought he did great. And look, this is the thing. So, whenever Danny Boyle started making this movie, there was already a stage production going on of this movie, and it was Ewan Bremner, who plays Spud, that was playing the Renton character in the stage production of it. And whenever he was told that it was going to end up being Ewan McGregor, and they asked him if he wanted to go ahead and play the Spud character, he said, as long as he just gets to be able to make the movie. Ewan Bremner, you also know him. He is one of the guys that is in Chris Pine's his core group of military fighter people in
Black Hawk
Wonder
Down.
Woman. Wonder Woman.
What did you
So-
say?
Black
Wonder
Hawk
Woman?
Down.
No.
Black. I thought so.
I thought that's where you were going.
Yeah, dude,
Chris
like,
Pine?
Look
Yeah.
at the cast list for Black Hawk Down though, and you'll kind of understand why you would go that direction with something.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got like 1,000 people that you were like, oh fuck, I know that guy.
Yeah.
They're all in Black Hawk Down, but
Yeah.
it was in Wonder Woman is the other thing that Ewan Bremner is actually known for. But yeah, he was the original Renton character, and fucking Ewan McGregor, he studied a whole bunch of junkies, and then hung out at like drug rehabilitation places, and then at one point in time he was going to end up he wanted to do heroin just one time to kind of get the feel for it, and then his buddies talked him out of doing that, which is probably a good idea.
Probably a good idea.
They talked him out of doing something so fucking stupid like that.
What a method actor, though. Let's
What a crazy method actor.
a method actor that does meth. All right, that's my new bit I'm doing.
Whoa. So like
You
Joaquin Phoenix.
And, man, considering how many fucking people died, like very incredibly famous, actors and everything like that, artists throughout the years that have died from heroin. Most recently, the one that really fucks me up the most is like, shit. Oh Christ, what's his name? Paul.
Giamatti.
No, god damn it, Tyler.
So on Trainspotting, and let me catch up with you guys here. This movie is incredibly fucking European, though. The last time I remember,
it's incredibly fucking British.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
it's Scottish is what
it's
it is.
Scottish. Yeah.
It's Scottish.
But I remember the last time I watched it, there were literally scenes where again, it's similar to one of the last movies we watched where I have to turn on subtitles because I just don't know what's happening. And even then I'm reading shit that I'm like, what are they talking about? Like 20 minutes of the movie, I'm like, oh, you got that day over there. So I'm like, dude, I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
That's the same with Snatch. Snatch is very similar in that sense. If you watch it, Austin,
very
Snatch,
similar.
turn on subtitles and then also be prepared to rewind it because even when you read it, you're like, what are they talking about?
Yes. Specifically Brad Pitt's character in
Yeah.
Snatch. But in this one, like legitimately all the characters are just that person because look, they're all, they're all very heavily Scottish actors, and just they're the Robert Carlyle who plays Begbie. He's just a very, very well known actor from that echelon of people, and his character Begbie is like legitimately. I've known that dude so many times throughout my life. That
Was
fucking
he-
crazy ass
He just-
hothead.
He will
Yeah,
just
he was
fucking
the
attack
asshole,
anybody.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy that
Yeah,
beats
he
the
was
shit
the
out of
dickhead
that guy.
Oh yeah, the whole fucking like dropping the goddamn the drink from the where he just sticks the drink out and then fucking drops it over the balcony, and it falls down and hits that woman in the head, and she's bleeding all over the place. Then he comes down and he fucking starts a fight with the dude. I mean, that's legitimately he's that type of character. And
What does it say that
Robert
that
Carlyle,
guy who like that's one of the guy that didn't really do drugs? Like, what does it say that?
No,
he was
yeah,
the,
no, he didn't do drugs.
he was the one that
at
was the
all.
most fucking,
Crazy, violent, absolutely just insane human being. Ends up going to jail, and then whenever you catch up with him in T2, he's still in prison from the shit that happened at the end of Trainspotting, and like he's killed a guy while he's in prison and all this other shit, and like he's a fucking madman character. And like I just like all the apart from Kevin McKidd's character, which was Tommy, Kevin McKidd, or as everybody else probably knows him, he's the Dr. Owen Hunt from Grey's Anatomy. I know you guys are huge Grey's Anatomy fans.
Oh yeah.
I watched like the first, I'm gonna say like 9 or 10 seasons.
Doesn't a doctor
of
have
Grey's Anatomy.
sex with a ghost patient in that show?
Oh, of course they. Well, yes.
That makes sense.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm good
Why would they not?
because that's fucking.
Because like,
dumb.
why would you watch that when House exists?
Look, the first several seasons of that show are really good, and there's one point down there where they have this turn at the end of one of the seasons that is one of the best turns of any TV show that I've ever watched ever. Because
All right, what
catches
happened?
catches you so off guard. It's one of the guys that actually worked in the hospital with them, and then he ends up saving this person, but in the process of saving this person, he ends up getting hit by this bus and is so fucked up beyond recognition. Like all of his entire face is broken and his chest is all caved in, and he's got fucking broken bones and punctured lungs and shit like that. And they get him in there into the hospital, and it's throughout, you don't find out that it's actually him until the end of the episode, and it's just like crazy fucking gut wrenching, just oh man, fucking crazy visceral moment that happened in overall just a shitty soap opera kind of TV show. But there were some really, really incredible moments that actually happened in that. But anyway, that's where everybody really knows him from, is Dr. Owen Hunt. But I'll always know him as Tommy from fucking from Trainspotting. So,
Did you guys get a little bit of like a Clockwork Orange vibe?
yep,
From
Yeah,
this?
a little bit.
Like a little bit of.
it's done like that very intentionally.
Is it?
Yeah,
'Cause,
of
like,
course.
I guess that makes sense because you get kind of the rambunctious young'uns
Yeah.
that are up to no good. And
Oh, yeah.
they just like they especially fucking Bigby. That's just like,
Oh yeah.
he's just gonna.
Well,
beat
I
a
mean,
guy.
all of them. Fucking Renton, he goes up there, and as soon as he gets out from, being arrested, for he's all on heroin and shit like that, and then he gets arrested, and he's going to go through a drug rehabilitation, and then in the process of being sentenced, and for his he's going to go through drug rehabilitation, but Spud has to go to prison for 6 months, and immediately his job, he like the very first thing that he does is he goes out and scores some heroin, and his buddies wrap him up in a fucking carpet and then drop him off at the fucking hospital. And I mean, that's legitimately what it took for him to be able to get clean, was just to completely fuck his life up as hard as he possibly could.
Basically, was
and-
at the verge
Is
of
there-
death.
I feel
Yeah,
like
of
I'm
course.
remembering somebody having it like in their boots, like they had like a whole kit and shit hidden somewhere where they could just like on the go do heroin. Am I misremembering this?
I don't know if I remember seeing that actually in the film, but
Okay, it's a different movie.
yeah, it seems like something that they would 100% do. But except they don't really go to they don't really carry like a kid around with them. They head over to Swanee's house, and they get to go up there and just get super fucked up at their place, and that's where the baby ends up dying, and all that shit ends up happening, and we find out it's Sick Boy's baby, and just there's so much shit that actually happens in that moment. But yeah, it's everything that they do over at that particular house, where they can just chill, and they buy their heroin and then just chill and fucking shoot their heroin and just be fucked up the entire time. But yeah.
Yeah, that movie is
Man, now I'm gonna watch the movie and I'll talk about it next week.
There you go.
perfect.
There you go. And we're
what
going to
are-
all talk about Godfather next week, so.
One of the reasons I teased like a little, like I just sprinkled a little John Oliver at the beginning was because the episode that he did most recently was his third episode in a series about opioids and specifically about kind of the family who started a lot of that with their pharmaceutical company and the way that they would sell things, and like it is incredibly fucked up.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Because obviously this movie takes place in like a different time, but we had the resurgence.
1980s.
Yeah, we had like the resurgence of it in the mid 2000s to late 2000s, where they were just being prescribed like crazy, and we're still in it. Really, it gets less attention, but like it sucks to think on top of not only personally when people individually struggle and resort to that, but the fact that they are pushed in that direction by the people they're supposed to trust because those people want to make money. Like, it's incredibly fucked. If you haven't, even it doesn't matter, like kind of, your opinion, I think, on John Oliver, I would watch the most recent episode he did about it. It's a interesting deep dive, and he really shit talks those people. And makes you feel
I love
good.
John Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, man. And like I said, there was a moment in the 90s where heroin use was just very glamorized, and I like that this movie kind of pulls the curtain back on that a little bit and allows us to kind of see everything that really happens. And not to spoil too much of T2, but that's kind of where you get the results of what really ended up happening because of everything going down, specifically that last night. You get to have Ewan McGregor meet up with Spud and Sick Boy, and after 25 years, and they reminisce on the effects of losing Tommy. And Tommy, he was perfectly fine until he ends up sharing his sex tape that Renton ends up stealing from him, and ends up sharing that with his, they share it, just the buddies sitting around watching Tommy's sex tape, which is super weird. But on top of that, the girlfriend not seeing it there, and she ends up breaking up with him, and then Tommy ends up coming to Renton to try to just score one, just once. He wanted to know what it felt like. It's supposed to feel like better than an orgasm, and that's what ends up getting him hooked on heroin. And it's because of the heroin and the sharing of the needles and everything that he ends up being HIV positive, and then he ends up dying of AIDS in this in the movie. And it's just super, super fucked up. I mean, there's a lot of crazy fucked up things that happen, and you get to see all the repercussions of all that happen in T2. It's a really, really interesting take on, is it as good as the original? No, I don't think it's as good as the original, but it feels more, I don't know, it just feels more updated, feels more like today, because, it practically is. And it feels like it has way more heart to it than the original movie does. The original movie is designed to provide you with that visceral reaction, or to elicit a visceral reaction from you, regarding the over, romanticized drug use and just the repercussions of, being able to see that thing taken to the nth degree. And T2 really just lets you sit and, bathe in the consequences of everything that happens in the first one. It's a really good addition to it. If you like Trainspotting, I would garner a guess that you would probably like T2 as well.
I have to watch
Rubyen,
it.
did you want to add anything else?
I just want to say that I think
Godfather's
The
a great
Godfather
movie.
was really honestly ahead of its time, and
Oh, I agree.
visually, like I was watching it and I was
It's a
surprised
fucking
at
masterpiece.
how old it is when like the lighting and the cinematography of the film is so goddamn modern that like it's just mind blowing the way that it's aged. And I was thinking earlier about how the movie was made in the early 70s. It's set like in the late 40s. It's roughly a 25-year time jump. That's as if we made a movie today and it was about 1997, or something like that. Like if you look at it at the scale of it, that movie was still modern then about what they were talking about. That was
of course.
a one person's lifetime event. They were in their 20s when the stuff going on was when they were born. I think The Godfather, honestly, like I know everybody says it. It really is. It's one of the greatest pieces of cinema in the history of just everything. I mean, it's incredible.
I agree 100%.
So I'm gonna watch the second and the third one because I've seen
Watch the second one, and then
skip
Look,
the
man,
third one. What about the fourth one?
No, it's like watch the third one. There is a recut version of it that exists out there. It just came out not too long ago. I can't remember what they're
It's
calling
called
it.
The Death of Michael Corleone.
The Death of Michael Corleone. Yeah.
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 It's not the best movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's not as bad as a lot of people, make it out to be. It's not like it gives anybody cancer or anything like that, but it's just not a great movie. It's just not a great movie.
Well,
So
see,
it
the
definitely
first
does
movie,
not fit
I had not.
the end of the trilogy of Godfather 1, Godfather 2, and, arguably, and it's kind of the one thing that everybody talks about, which is Godfather 2 might be the best case of the sequel being so much better than the first one, as if you feel like you couldn't top the first one after watching Godfather, and then they decide they're going to make a sequel and everybody's like, oh, this is going to fucking tank, it's just going to be shitty, and then it ends up legitimately being another masterpiece.
It's like
after
Terminator 2.
the original masterpiece. It's
Exactly.
kind of like Terminator 2 to Terminator, let's see, Aliens to Alien. No, I'm just kidding.
Empire. To
I like
New Hope.
Aliens.
Aliens
ain't
is good, but
It's not
a
Alien
lot
1,
more.
but I
Yeah,
like
Alien
Aliens.
is better.
Aliens better. Just Aliens is really
Alien
action
is better.
packed.
Yeah, it's like Hangover 2. Like it's just miles
Yes,
better.
that's there you go.
Than Hangover
Masterpiece. Exactly.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything they want to be able to add to Trainspotting before we move on?
I
I
just.
feel
Don't
like
do
I just want to
drugs.
say.
don't do drugs, and also don't have sex with
I mean,
minors.
maybe try them.
Oh,
Well,
don't have sex with
I didn't
minors.
really
The
touch
first
Good
part.
one.
that topic in this. That was
Yeah,
difficult.
24 and she's like 17. So there's that. Yep.
Yep, that was
It is Scotland though, so
Scotland.
Okay. There's that.
I don't think that does anything, but
do you guys think that having Ewan and Ewan on set was confusing?
No, not if they're Scottish.
That's just John. It's like John over there.
Yeah, it's like Josh and John. Those don't even sound alike.
It's
So-
Ewan and Ewan.
Yeah.
Ewan.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't speak
you win
Scottish.
is way worse to me than you win.
Ewan.
Yeah.
So
Ewan who?
no.
McGregor.
I fucking hate it. I hate it.
I know. So, does everybody have a movie picked out for this next week?
I have two.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
Are we doing twos
Oh
now?
shit! No,
No, I
Austin's
just-
going to present two movies. We get to choose the movie that he will then hold up as his vote. Go.
Yes. All right, you ready? This one's been on my
Yes.
mind for a while, and the only reason this one came into my head is because I've never seen a Daniel Day-Lewis movie.
Oh,
you
fuck
guys,
yes.
you guys
You
talked
better-
about
you better
this.
say
Gangs
it.
of New York. You
Gangs
just
of
watched
New
it say
York.
Gangs of New
It
York.
was Gangs of New
Yeah.
York, because that I
know what
looked
the
up
other one's
his
gonna be.
I looked up his filmography, and I
It's
was
gonna
like,
be the other one.
so I've never seen Gangs
There
of
will
New
be
York,
blood.
Mhm.
and this is not a Daniel Day-Lewis movie. Just so
Oh,
we're
shit.
clear.
Okay.
Just so we're clear.
Okay.
But the other movie, Tyler, that I was thinking of was Gladiator.
Okay.
So
We've already done
Gladiator
right?
and Gangs of New York.
We've never done Gladiator.
Really?
You guys have talked about Gladiator like
Talked about
18
Gladiator.
times, but
no
we've
But the
never
only,
done an
the
episode.
only reason I thought
You
about
sure?
Gladiator is because I
Yeah.
looked up Ridley Scott movies at work today, and I was like, oh shit, he made Gladiator, and I've never
Yeah.
seen any of his movies outside of the Aliens movies.
How
So-
have we reached that point where, like, I'm thinking we've done something now?
Yeah.
Dude, at this
Because we've been
point,
doing
why are
this
we?
for a year and some change.
We should just be going down the IMDb top 250 at this
We
point.
should
just
definitely do
in
that.
order. I think we've
Yeah.
already killed the like top 10.
No, because I think number 1 is Citizen Kane. Number 2 is like Casablanca.
I do not really want to do
Number
Citizen
3 is like E.T.
Definitely don't want to do
there's-
ET. ET sucks.
That has to be wrong. I'm
No,
looking
I
it
know
up.
it's wrong. What are you talking about?
Dude, Shawshank Redemption is number 1,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We've done
And-
that one. Give
and
us
then
number 2.
the Godfather,
And then what's number 3?
The Godfather Part 2.
And then what's number 4?
Believe it or not, The Dark Knight
Oh,
is
okay.
considered.
Jesus.
Yeah, I agree. Jesus, it's considered the 4th greatest movie below Shawshank
Highest-
Redemption
Okay.
and Godfather.
Highest ranked or the
Top
Or-
250 rated by
okay. That's
IMDb
okay. That's based entirely upon ratings.
on ranking by
and-
users. Yeah.
Yeah.
What should
that's
I
the thing.
what should I rate it? What should I do?
So
rank it
you
by
should
what?
look up. You should look up the
By box
IFC.
office?
The IFC top 100, and that's probably like the official list.
Who cares what IFC has to say?
Yeah,
Okay, Citizen Kane,
Okay.
I
Casablanca.
think the reason I always think we've
Yeah.
done Gladiators because that's what we were gonna do when we did Black Panther, I believe, before
I believe so.
that
Yeah.
unfortunate.
And then Chadwick Boseman, passed away. So
should I do
Um,
Gladiator or Gangs of New York?
Gangs of New York all fucking day long.
I say
'cause I'm gonna vote for
Gladiator
that shit so
because
hard.
I understand why you would want to watch that because it is a better movie. But Austin hasn't seen Gladiator, right?
Correct.
Look,
And that-
I've never
Gladiator's
seen
a
either of
fucking
them.
great movie. They're both of those are great fucking movies.
Gladiator is not
but-
on that level though. Like,
Gladiator's not a great movie.
oh, I'm
Dude,
sorry,
Gladiator
it is
is
a great movie, but it's not
Star Wars
Gangs of New York
fucking,
level. It's different.
Look, the thing
It's
about
different.
Gangs of New York is this: in Gangs of New York, Leonardo DiCaprio is kind of shit. And
I mean, does he have any good movies?
yeah,
excuse me?
He's got a couple.
He's got more. I think he might
Titanic.
have more stinkers than he does good
He's
ones.
got Titanic.
I hate you so
um,
much.
You named one movie.
Really?
Shutter
Basketball
Island.
Diaries. What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
He's like 14. That's not even
I know.
acting.
Why are you
That's
guys?
the
Have I
14.
told you guys the story on this podcast about the first time that I watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
You have told us.
Yeah, and I was like, "Holy shit, this dude isn't." Oh my god! Yeah, it really blew me away that he wasn't special needs, and
Yeah.
they just taught
It's like
somebody
Shia
to-
LaBeouf.
I remember.
and,
I remember
yeah.
whenever you brought that up, and I was like, I feel like that's offensive somehow, but I couldn't
It's
couldn't
just
place
good
it.
acting, dude.
It's
Yeah.
great acting. Yeah, it's,
It's
exactly
like
what
Billy.
it is.
It's like Billy Bob Thornton in
oh yeah,
Slingblade.
and Sling Blade,
No, dude.
which is another fucking great movie.
So,
that we- that
and-
I know Austin has never seen.
Hear me out.
Sounds
I'm jumping
correct.
in. I'm jumping in with my recommendations.
Yeah, go,
I've got
go.
I've got 2 movies if we're doing 2
Okay,
movies.
shit. Here we go.
Slingblade.
Okay.
And speaking of Billy Bob Thornton, this is actually the movie I want to do.
No,
Because I just recently came across
Monsters
this.
Ball.
No,
that's
keep
a
going.
good movie.
Okay.
So I
It's
want to do a
it's-
movie.
It's
I
an
want to do a
interesting
movie
performance.
called A Simple Plan.
Oh, great movie.
So it's Bill
Great movie.
Paxton.
Yeah.
It is Billy Bob Thornton.
yeah.
directed
Who wrote and
by-
directed it?
Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
So hear me out. I was not familiar with this movie.
it happened to come on my TV the other day because I'm 48 years old and have cable and watch whatever's on when it's on, and they tell me when to watch it. And I'm flipping channels, and a movie comes on called A Simple Plan. I happen to be 5 minutes into it, and I was like, dude, what is this movie? This is badass. I'm sitting there watching it, not pressing the info button, just watching it. And I'm like, holy fuck, this is really good. What is this? Still not pressing the info button. 40 minutes into the movie, I'm like, hold on, I got to look this up. I finally get up and grab the remote that's 2 tables away from me. And it was A Simple Plan. So
it's a great movie.
We should do that movie. I want you guys to watch A Simple Plan.
It does not measure up to the same standard as Gangs of New
Fargo
York or
or-
Gladiator.
Okay.
But
It
it is
doesn't.
very Fargo-esque. It's very Fargo-esque.
It's as if it's as if Fargo and
Mhm.
Pulp Fiction hung out with Sam Raimi.
Yeah. Did the dirty and
makes
then
That's
this became the baby for it.
It's good enough for
So,
me.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a entertaining movie.
It is
and the title of the movie is exactly what the movie is about.
yes.
It was a simple plan. So there is
Yeah.
that.
It was
It was a simple plan.
at some point.
So,
It was that.
That's correct. Logan.
I would like to watch one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it. I don't know if it's not monthly; it's every other month. Just don't bring it up all the time because it'd get boring.
Paddington 2.
That's it. That's
There
it.
you go.
Actually,
Nail on the head.
it's also Bill Paxton,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's Twister.
All right, I'm in.
It's Twister.
I'm in, dude.
Okay.
It's
I'm
Twister,
in.
dude. Let's watch it
Yeah, okay.
finally. I can't wait.
Okay.
I already know we're watching it. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm gonna watch it twice this week.
I'm gonna watch the wrong movie, so
That's
Dude,
awesome.
you-
You'll be able to
we-
tell us about. Actually, you're going to pick the movie that I'm going to say.
It's
Okay.
we get to
Promise.
watch
You're
the
gonna pick
dude,
movie.
that guy. What's his
This
name?
is
Philip Seymour
this is gonna
Hoffman.
change
Just be Jack
everything.
Black.
why?
It's great.
This is going to be this is going to change everything. This is going to change the entire course of the podcast forever. You guys ready for this?
Along came Polly.
Here we go.
No,
The Mask.
Oh.
I fucking hate.
I
that
mean-
movie.
If you
Well-
want, I think The Mask is kind of too long for its own good, but
No way. It
course
needs to be
it is.
director's cut, is what I want.
Smoking.
Okay.
I dislike that movie immensely.
I'm
I
gonna
do
watch.
too.
I'm,
I hate
gonna watch
that
them.
movie.
I'm gonna watch it anyways.
Unless
I'm
you
watching
want
it
us to,
anyways.
you just want me to shit talk it and be dour the whole
No.
time. I mean, I'll
No.
like we can if it wins, I'll watch it.
I only picked that movie so that we could watch Gangs of New York. Go.
What?
Why, we gotta. Can we do a bad week? 1 week.
I've been
We've
trying
only
to do
done-
that forever, and we only did it once,
Yeah.
and it was for the Lost Boys, and then they ended up.
Oh no, that wasn't the.
No,
bad
that's a good.
movie.
That,
That's
yeah,
what-
that's not a
great
bad
movie.
movie.
Well,
I'm
that's,
watching that movie this October.
well, it was it was suggested because I said we should cover a bad movie, and then they fucking loved it the whole time, just sucked it off the whole fucking hour, and I was like, well,
I mean,
Great.
you literally did the same thing for like Back to the Future too. Like me and Tyler loved it, and you talked shit the whole time. So I mean,
Whole time.
it's bad. It's bad to the future.
So
Can we
there's that.
watch? Can we just go straight to Spy Kids 2?
Okay, so
Oh,
I
the thumb
actually
people.
almost did say Spy Kids as a joke. That's funny you say that because I almost did that.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm down. I'll watch Spy Kids anyways. I don't care.
All right. So what movies do we have up right now? We have The Mask.
Yeah, and will you text me so I don't watch the wrong movie?
We have Twister. We have whatever.
A Simple
Rubens-
Plan.
A Simple Plan. There you go.
Whatever that second
And-
one was.
And then we have either Gladiator or Gangs of
I'll
New
watch.
York.
I'm gonna watch Gangs of New York.
Okay.
yeah, I'll just
Ruben,
make
you say
it.
Gangs of New York?
I'll make it Gangs of New York because I've seen Ridley Scott movies. I've never seen a Daniel Day-Lewis movie, so I'll pick Gangs of New York as my movie choice. But that's not what I'm like picking out of you three. If
Yeah.
I have to pick a
Ruben says
movie,
Gangs of New York.
if I have to pick a movie out of you three, let's see. The Mask, Paddington 2, and A Simple Plan.
He never said Paddington.
I would say A Simple Plan
Okay.
if I'm
Hell
choosing
yeah.
one that's not mine.
You guys should look it up real quick. Just read a
No,
quick.
it's really good.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It's badass.
Yeah, and I just love Bill Paxton too. So
Yeah, he carries the movie.
Actually, I was thinking about saying Simple Plan, but that will complicate things. So I'm gonna say Gangs of New York because I actually have no problem watching that either. But I haven't seen Simple Plan, so I kind of wanted to watch that.
You should watch it anyways, dude.
you should definitely watch it. Yeah.
I feel like I want to watch that, but it's been a while since I've seen Gangs of New York, so I'm down.
You basically.
And then third, Gangs of New York.
I was gonna pick Gladiator till you removed it, so your loss.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm probably still gonna go buy the 4K because it's
sitting right behind Tyler, behind that green screen, like right now.
It's directly behind.
Did you get the Steelbook one?
This looks like a Trainspotting poster that's behind me right now because you guys don't see that. To everybody else, they see Trainspotting.
I've taken about
Wait,
15 screenshots of that green screen I'm looking at.
That's great.
So,
are you guys telling me they released Gangs in New York in 4K? Is that? Did I mishear you?
I don't think it's actually
Gladiator.
released in 4K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gladiator is definitely in 4K, but I think Gangs of New York is just in because I bought it.
Does Scorsese ever do anything? What is it? He just sits around and makes fun of Marvel. This is the last time Scorsese did anything.
He just did Irishman.
The Irishman? What are you talking about?
Never heard of it.
What?
Okay.
It just came
in
out.
the year of our COVID. It just it was the COVID Oscars.
I mean, I
it
guess
was the first COVID Oscars.
It feels like it came out 3 years ago at this point, but
it does. Feels like it came out 1,000 fucking years ago. So, but it just happened to come out in the.
Did you guys ever watch Tiger King?
Prior to COVID. Oh yeah, you guys remember? Hey, let's not get on to Tiger.
Hey,
King.
like
I never watched
Amazon.
a single thing about it. Don't care.
Really? I loved it.
Don't care.
I watched
What am
everything.
I on
I watched
right
the
now?
original again, John Oliver episode like years ago when he talked about that guy.
Yeah.
For when he was running for president, and that was
Yeah,
fucking
I remember.
yes.
Yeah, I remember when he ran.
Because like when
It
it
was
when it
great.
started blowing up and everyone was like, "Look at this tiger!" I was like, "Is that the fucking Joe Exotic guy
Yeah,
that ran
it's
for president?"
Exactly, Joe Exotic.
That's like fucking
Yeah,
his tigers or whatever.
that is correct.
And I was, all right, and everyone loved it. And I was like, I'm good.
All right, guys. So we're an hour and a half in right now.
Are we? Oh, shit.
Next week, Gangs of New York. It's gonna be fun as shit. I'm so excited to see you guys, especially like Austin's reaction to Daniel Day-Lewis as Bill the Butcher.
I'm
It's
Daniel
gonna be-
Day-Lewis. That's what he sounds like.
You
in
should
every movie.
legit. You should watch him in this, and you should watch my favorite performance. It's either that or it is There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood is a fucking fanatical.
I thought you were gonna pick There Will Be
crazy
Blood.
Goddamn.
I thought
Yeah,
he
me
was.
too.
I was all ready to vote on that.
It's
Yeah, There Will Be
There Will
Blood
Be
is another
Blood
one of those. Is
like-
fucking phenomenal.
2001: A Space Odyssey for oil.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
But it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So.
It's like
All right,
there's
guys.
40 minutes of nothing but oil noises.
There is actually. Yeah. I think it's probably closer to 5 minutes, but yes.
Yeah.
It's from the deaf kid's perspective. Anyway, next week, Gangs of New York. I'll see you guys then.
Can't wait to talk about Gladiator, guys.
Shit.